season, that we had 1 foot in altcoin season. And today, I'm delighted to tell you that we are in altcoin season. Please say hi on your way in. Just going live now with no notification. Yesterday's stream from the garden got over 2,000 views, so that's not bad at all. So, and it's far too hot in the house at the moment to stream indoors. We don't need to anyway. Things are really simple now, and I'll explain that in this stream. And I'm a bit wheezy today. I don't know why that is. How are we all doing? Mikey Brew was first. Says yes, yes, yes. JJS Ladek was second. Fantastic. And Check My Pulse was third. Something Check My Pulse was saying yesterday has inspired a lot of this stream. Well, I've got a few streams in my head, so it depends what you want, really. But Check My Pulse yesterday said we're not bullish enough, and he's absolutely right about that. And that got me thinking, and I'll probably talk about that as well. I've got nothing else to do today. It's far too hot to do gardening. It's far too hot to be messing about with my new Land Rover Defender, which I'm pimping up at the moment. I'm putting a wing on the back of it, and I'm in the middle of putting side arches on it and things. I did it myself. Urban wanted £54,000 to put a wing on, some side arches, and a couple of other bits of plastic on the bonnet and things. And I looked at the price of these things procuring directly, and I thought I'll have fun doing it myself. So just a little bit something what I'm up to. Please deploy the like on entry, as we say. So yeah, yesterday I said, look guys, I'm not calling altcoin season yet, but it could happen. It could happen today or tomorrow, and it did. It's fantastic listening back to yesterday's stream, because if I do say so myself, everything I said was spot on. I said, let's think of some of the things I said yesterday in the stream. I said, look, Friday's always a great day for crypto. Well, Friday's typically a great day for crypto. It's the best day of the week for crypto, and I said we could easily get into price discovery on Friday, and we have, obviously. And not just a little bit, guys. We are firmly in price discovery. And as I said yesterday, price discovery in Bitcoin will signal altcoin season. It alerts retail to the opportunity in crypto. They're not coming in because they've read a textbook on proof of stake versus proof of work. They're coming in because they see the prices are going up, and the media cover Bitcoin. So then they come in, they see the Bitcoin's too expensive, and they buy Ethereum. We said all this. Oh, there's loads of kids going by. That's okay. What else did we say yesterday? We said that as soon as Bitcoin goes into price discovery, then the altcoins will really start to move more aggressively than yesterday. And we're seeing that as well, guys. We're seeing that as well. And we said that Ethereum will be 3,000 in a few days. And we were made a liar there, because it was even less than that. Ethereum, not only is Ethereum 3,000 right now, guys, but better still, it's gone back below 3,000 and back above already. So it's already done that essential testing of it. You can't just go past the big milestones like 3,000, 4,000, 10,000. You know, like we saw with 100k Bitcoin. You can't just go, oh, we're past that now. Okay, we're going to 110. No, you got to move around it a bit. So we've already done that. Is that enough already? Probably not. But it's again a sign that the crypto market really wants to move now, and things are really good and going. It's really lovely to stream with you guys. Let's see who's made it. Let's see who's made it. Mikey Brew's made it. JJS Ladek's made it. Check My Pulse has made it. Mike Sandip's made it. Fantastic. Sandip says smash the like button, please, guys. Yes. Constitution Andy. Cool name. He's made it. B Haven's made it. 100% staked. Well, of course, with a name like that, you've got to make it, haven't you? If you're 100% staked, you're going to make it. Unless you emergency end stake. Shout out to 100% staked. He's famous today. Chiz555 says, hi, 7. Good to see it, Chiz. Chiz has made it. Strong supporter of the channel. Hex on time. Gotta make it. Nina Washington. Can you say happy birthday to Brandon? He's my son. Brandon, happy birthday, buddy. Your mum is not only a lovely lady, but she's also very clever, because she's in Hex and Pulsechain, and Hex and Pulsechain will be the best performing cryptos here on in. There's no point me telling you what's done best so far, is it? It's best me telling you what's going to do best here on in. And there's a number of reasons why Pulsechain is going to outperform pretty much everything else from here to the end of the cycle. We touched on 3 of the reasons yesterday. One is because we're a leverage play on Ethereum, and it doesn't get better than that. So everyone's now talking about Ethereum. We said this yesterday. It's a huge narrative now. Ethereum's going to be the next Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's too expensive. You've got to get Ethereum, and this is what all the TradFi on Wall Street are saying now. So being that we are the we are the crypto with the greatest symbiotic relationship or crossplay between Ethereum. Sounds a bit naughty, crossplay, doesn't it? You know what I mean, guys. A crossplay between Ethereum, we are the strongest. Now, most altcoins go up when Ethereum goes up, and that's why it's so important that Ethereum's going up, but particularly Pulsechain, because we have this crossover between the whales in Pulsechain and the whales in Ethereum. We have the bonding through liquidity and all these other aspects and elements. And of course, at the end of the day, Pulsechain is a clever clone of Ethereum, so that's what makes it so good. Yeah, that's right. PulseNet is bullish because I had to wear 2 pairs of sunglasses. That's what we say. Yeah, shout out again to Nina's boy Brandon. Brandon might be interested in crypto as well because, of course, the kids are born into crypto now. Bitcoin came about in 2008. So if your son Brandon is if he's less than 17, quick math. If your son Brandon is less than 17, then he was born into the crypto era. Like people born after, I think, 1910, something like that, were born into the aeroplane era, and people born before that weren't. Yeah, so all good stuff there. So yeah, look, I've got to tell you about this, guys. This is this is incredible. So yesterday, the institutions bought over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. Now that's just the institutions, okay? And I know it's OTC, but Coinbase has only got so much to give them, and then they've got to go to the exchanges. This is one of the reasons. This is probably just thinking out loud. This will be one of the reasons why the big boys are now signaling that we should all get Ethereum, because Coinbase has probably turned around. Brian Armstrong from Coinbase has probably turned around to BlackRock and Fidelity and Vanguard and VanEck and said, "Look, I haven't got much more Bitcoin to get you. You're gonna have to get it off the exchange." No, we don't want to do that. We can't do that. We're not allowed. Actually, they're not allowed to do that. So there's all sorts of requirements around ETFs. So they're now signaling that we should be getting into Ethereum. And that's amazing. That's so amazing for Hex and Pulsechain. I don't know if it's luck or judgment, and I'm happy to sign up to it being judgment, but I think we're all going to get rich. I think we're all going to get to Monaco. The ones that are remaining and things, as I say, yesterday I got over 2,000 views, which is better than we've been getting lately, but I used to get 10,000 views. So only 1 in 5 have made it through this long period, and it has been a long period. And this goes to the point, I think it's probably a separate stream, but I need to talk about the biggest... No, actually, I do need to talk about it today, because I've put it in the title, haven't I? So yeah, we will get to this. What is the biggest risk in Hex and Pulsechain? I should probably do that in a minute, actually. So anyway, the institutions bought over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin yesterday. Phenomenal. And by the way, I think I'm the only channel that I know of that has made this prediction. And it's getting nearer to being right. I've said that the institutions are going to start buying more Ethereum than Bitcoin. And of course, Ethereum is very much smaller than Bitcoin, particularly now that Bitcoin is as high as it is. I think it's 118,000 right now. And Ethereum's still not at its prior all-time high from the last cycle. So Ethereum is a much smaller balloon to blow up, and Bitcoin is a giant balloon. So when we see the same sort of numbers of buying of Ethereum as we've been seeing for Bitcoin, then we're going to see that balloon expand very, very rapidly. Very, very rapidly. Even Crypto 7 didn't think as rapidly as this. It takes me back, because a couple of months ago or whenever, when Bitcoin was trying to break out and trying to get higher but got rejected, I was saying, look, I think Ethereum is going to be 3,000 at the end of the week, and Bitcoin's going to be at all-time high at the end of the week. And I got one of the two predictions right. Bitcoin did manage to get to all-time high, but then crypto got rejected a bit, and we had to spend a bit more time. And that's because we had continued uncertainty with the tariffs and other issues around Iran and Israel and things like that. And also, I think it was the moneymakers just wanted more time to accumulate. But anyway, I did have quite a lot of people in the chat giving me a lot of hate about the fact that I said that Ethereum would be 3K by the end of the week. And it's funny because perhaps that's why I was a little bit more conservative this time around. And I said, look, I think by next week we'll be at 3K. And we were 3K later that day. And but people, I've heard Ivan talk about this, that it's a sign that you're new to crypto, or you're not very experienced in crypto, or not very smart. If you think that, because a lot of people don't understand crypto, and they're happy buying Ethereum if somebody can turn around and say, look, it's definitely going to be 20% higher in a month. Okay, I'll buy it then. I'll risk it. I'll buy it. But they don't like not knowing when it's going to go up and things. And that's investments for you. I think that this cycle's going to continue. Again, that's another subject for another stream. But for how long will it continue? And I think I've got my head around all of that now. So phenomenal news. Not only did we see over $1 billion worth of buying for Bitcoin through the ETFs yesterday, guys, but we also saw huge buying for Ethereum again. Let's see. I can't remember how high it was. Let me just remind myself. On the old computer, when it refreshes, it's outside, so it's a bit slower. But worth the wait, guys. Worth the wait. So we had $383 million yesterday of buying of Ethereum through the institutions, which I think's a record. I think that's the highest ever. And 211 million the day before. So over $500 million in the last 48 hours, 36 hours, 48 hours. Huge amounts, as I say, because of course Ethereum is much, much smaller, so it pumps much, much more aggressively. This is why people go for the small caps later in the bull market, because a relatively small amount can pump it a lot. That's how that is there. So huge buying, and it's just marvelous that people are now going to start getting into Ethereum. We're still very, very early. Retail aren't here yet. Then they're going to be buying Ethereum. Then the people later in this bull market coming in will look at Ethereum at 10,000 and think, oh, that's too much. Oh, but there's a leverage play, which is Pulsechain. So Pulsechain is going to be the top performing crypto from here on in my opinion. My opinion based on 10 years experience. If you want to test my opinion, listen to all the things I was saying yesterday. I think they've all come to pass, all of them. Quite weird, but so there's a number of things going for Pulsechain that other cryptos just don't have. Pulsechain has the most charismatic founder, number one. I put a lot of store on that, by the way. I put a lot of value on that, and he's very much wanting to get involved with the Ethereum marketing and the Pulsechain marketing, and it's very, very sexy, very, very exciting. Number two, he's got billions of dollars worth of Ethereum, and he's inevitably going to find ways to pump his ecosystem. That's a huge deal. You got two things there which alone are enough reason to invest. Even one of them singly, the most charismatic founder in crypto. Okay, well, I'm investing then. He's a billionaire who's highly, highly likely to pump his ecosystem on one form or another. Okay, that's enough reason to invest then. And on top of that, he's got some clever marketing up his sleeve, and a lot of people outside of Hex and Pulsechain, as I said yesterday, think that's why Hex did a 10,000x in the last cycle. That's right, Hex on Ethereum did a 10,000x in the last cycle, which is 1,000,000%. And it's 999,990%. I think if you want to be precise about it, but let's not worry about that. We'll give away that last little bit, won't we? And on top of that, it's a leverage play on Ethereum. He's got the money. And what was the other one? Oh, gosh, I can't remember now. But the marketing. So those three, plus charismatic founder, that's four. Like I say, guys, investors are coming into crypto now. They're going to be coming into crypto increasingly over the next few months. And they're looking for narratives. They're looking for reasons to invest. There's a lot of cryptos out there. We know there's a lot of cryptos out there, yeah? So they're looking for things that make them stand out. Most charismatic founder, I'm in, that's it, done. Strongest community, that's 5, isn't it? We're up to 5 now. That's 5 really strong reasons. Strongest community. I mean, XRP guys will probably argue with that. The Cardano girls will argue with that. But it's thereabouts, well, let's not split hairs. Even if it's in the top, even if we're the top 5 strongest community, it's still insane. The Bitcoin guys might say we're the strongest community, or Ethereum or Solana. But I think we're up there in the top 5 for sure, and that's more than enough, because people want to diversify. They don't want to just get into one crypto. So phenomenal, guys. I should be more anonymous as made as well. He says it's bull time. It is, guys. Somebody poke ETH with a stick. Well, it's over 3,000, guys. So somebody has. Do you mean they have now? What did I call this? To title this stream, I called it The Biggest Risk, didn't I? So I'm going to have to talk about that. Okay. The biggest risk The only risk now in Hex and Pulsechain is not being bullish enough, quick enough, and this is what Check My Pulse was saying. And the reason for this is because this could, and no, I'll put some numbers to it so you'll see exactly what I'm saying. Because crypto hasn't done anything, gone down, it's just ranged for the last 6 months. People aren't bullish enough now. We've had the bullishness bashed out of us. We've had the enthusiasm bashed out of us. The people that will make most money in crypto will be the people that can get bullish fastest. And it's very, very difficult to do because we've had 6 months, as I say, of having this new mental state pushed on us. And it's hard to come away from it quickly. A good analogy would be, a good comparison would be, and I've got greatest respect to servicemen. I've not served myself, so so forgive me for sort of like, hope nobody minds. There's a lot of people who've served in Hex and Pulsechain, but if you were to go to a battle zone for a week, you'd probably come back roughly the same person, roughly the same sort of mental outlook. And you might not need too long to sort of like get back to your baseline, to get back to the person you were, even if you saw a few things you didn't want to see in that week. If you're out in a battle zone for 6 months, well, forget about it. It's going to take years and years for you to get back into the chirpy self you used to be. Archie S, the chirpy guy, the friendly guy down the pub. It might take you 2 years to recover from that 6 months. Check My Pulse, it might take you a year, it might take somebody else 3 years. We haven't got a year, we haven't got 2 years. You've got to this is why Check My Pulse is absolutely right. We've got to get bullish fast. And the people that can get bullish fastest are going to be the people that make the most money. And then it's almost impossible not to come out of this cycle with a lot of money, because even if you end up round tripping, that's not necessarily putting you out of the game, as I say, but you'd likely sort of notice that your $2 million has turned into $1 million and your millions turned into $500,000, and it's probably a good idea to take some money out. I mean, you still, if you get bullish fastest, it's going to be the thing. It's very, very difficult because we've had 6 months, and that's how this market is playing us, really. We need to be bullish fastest. And I said this yesterday, and I think in Hex and Pulsechain, there are some people who are looking to, they've had enough, they want to get out and things. And you can see some selling, but that will quickly evaporate. And yeah, so the people that can get bullish fastest are the people that can make the most money. Now I have a price prediction as well. I think I'm going to talk about that as well. I'm in the mood to talk. We've got 84 people. If people smash the likes up, and I'll give you a short-term price prediction. And this is pretty accurate. I think it's there's a way to tell where Pulsechain will be in the next 3 or 4 weeks, and you're going to be amazed how high it's going to be. And I'm going to tell you how I work that out. So if you like the sound of that, make sure you subscribe. I don't have time to stream every day, so tap the bell, make sure you subscribe, because otherwise you won't see me. As I say, I'm not going to ram your feed every day. You're lucky you're getting me 2 days in a row. It's only because we're in price discovery and we've just hit altcoin season, guys. And if that doesn't deserve a like, I don't know what does. We've only got 17 likes and 84 people watching. I'm having a hydration break. So just as I made a number of calls yesterday, probably 10 or so yesterday, that have all come to pass, it's actually very easy for me to give you a really sexy and fairly accurate price prediction in the short term for Pulsechain. And it's based on the price of Ethereum. We've talked in this stream about how there's huge synergy between Pulsechain and Ethereum, and how effectively when Ethereum goes up, Pulsechain will go up. Now, we might see a few days where, as I say, some of these whales are looking to reduce their exposure or get out or something. And once that passes, then we will catch back up and go beyond as well. So we know that certain prices for Ethereum will dictate, pretty much necessitate, enforce, compel a certain price of Pulsechain. I don't make the rules, guys. Them's the rules, okay? Now I look back. The last time Pulsechain was at a sort of semi-respectable price was in December of last year, obviously, 6 months ago. And 6 months ago, Pulsechain was 4 zeros and an 8, threatening, high 4 zeros and an 8, and threatening to get to sack price. Which it will, inevitably at this point, by the way. Which is why it's so funny that some people are selling, particularly in Hex. Some people think if you're a whale, if you're a rich guy, if you're a whale, then you must be quite clever and we should follow what they do. And that's not right. I know lots of whales who aren't clever. I've got a $100,000 Yamaha grand piano in my living room and I don't play the piano. Now that's not very clever. You know, having money doesn't make you clever. And never make the mistake of thinking that just because somebody's got a lot of money, they're cleverer than you or they know more than you. And anyway, it's quite funny. But getting back to the price prediction, because everyone likes a short-term price prediction for Pulsechain, I'll be the first to sort of give you one, which I think I can hang my hat on. I think I can sort of say this is I think this is how it's going to go. So back in December, Pulsechain was threatening to get to sack price. It was at high 4 zeros and an 8, which is a hell of a lot higher than it is now. I think it's 4 zeros and a 3 right now. So that's 2.5x, which is a lot. It's 250 grand from a 100 grand investment. So we've got a lot of way just to get back to there. Now, Ethereum tells us everything at this point. Because when Pulsechain was 4085 or whatever, in December, Ethereum was 4K, 3,900, 4K. Depends where in the month, you know, whether at 3,800 to 4,000. So let's not split hairs. Let's keep the numbers simple so you know. And you go, oh, Crypto 7, that surprisingly good-looking middle-aged Englishman with a nice English accent and a fantastic garden with a Patagonian cypress behind him. He knows his shit. So in December last year, Ethereum was 4,000, let's keep it simple, and Pulsechain was 4 zeros and an 8. So we know, keeping it simple, and by the way, that's the amazing thing about this cycle from here where we can keep it really simple. I'll come back to that. Anyway, we know that as soon as Ethereum gets to, Pulsechain is going to be 4 zeros and an 8. It might be 4 zeros and a 7, it might be 4 zeros and a 9, but there's not much wriggle room there. Because of the liquidity bonding. I don't make the rules, them's the rules. Johnny Chaos will talk to you about it more intelligently, but then it'll probably go over your head because it goes over my head. And yeah. So, but basically, we can see that when Ethereum is 4,000, Pulsechain is going to be 4085, which is a 2.5x above this. So, just a 25%, what is it, 25-30% gain in Ethereum is going to take Pulsechain. And that's because that's where the confidence bit is. 3 to 4 is where the confidence comes back. And once the confidence comes back into the market, that's when people get more confident in leverage plays and things further along the risk curve. And Pulsechain is very much further along the risk curve. One of the amazing things is, I think I've got too much to say today, so the things I'm talking about which deserve a whole stream, but we'll just come back to them. That's what we do on Crypto 7 anyway. We're just going to talk about what's important, but I'm a bit overexcited today, I think. And yeah, apologies. I'm not as structured as normal. I don't know why that is. So, go back to the price prediction. So if we know that Pulsechain is going to be 4085, give or take a tiny amount, when Ethereum gets to 4,000. The $1 million question that you're all asking is, the $1 million question that Spider's asking, and I should be more anonymous, and Trust Tract, hey there, good to see a Trust Tract, seeing some people I haven't seen before. No, sorry if I've missed you out, I'm just, Owls Manfield says, riding the XRP wave, there you go, good stuff, good stuff. We, on this channel, we like other cryptos to go up because when other cryptos go up, we know our turn's coming. We know the rotation effect on Crypto 7. So we love to see other cryptos going up, you know, so it's all good. It's all good. Crypto Mike's last in the house. I'm keeping a better eye on the chat now, guys. So if you want to be shouted out, just say hi. Shout out again to Brandon. And I think it was, yeah, so we were saying happy birthday to Brandon, weren't we? Right, now, I've explained to you why Pulsechain is going to be 4085 when Ethereum hits 4,000. Okay, step one. The $1 million question is, when's Ethereum going to hit 4,000? Well, I think at this rate, guys, we could see it. We could see it this month. I would say in the next 4 weeks, to be conservative. So in the next 4 weeks, we're going to see a Pulsechain at 4085, which means if you put 10,000 in now, put 10,000 of Brandon's inheritance in now, it'll likely turn into 25,000 in 4 weeks' time. Not certainly. It might be more. It might be more. It might be less. But that's an educated guess, an educated calculation. Based on this inseparable, undeniable correlation between the price of Ethereum and the price of Pulsechain. Them's the rules. I don't make the rules. That's what's going to happen. So when Ethereum hits 4,000, Pulsechain's going to be knocking on the door of sack price. And this incredible thing is that Pulsechain is currently still very subdued. And the reason it's very subdued is because the founder is on Interpol's most wanted list. And I've got great news for you. I'm the guy that brought you the bad news. The big investors are not going to touch a crypto where the founder's on the most wanted list. When crypto isn't doing anything, when most cryptos are going down or sideways, you're spoilt for choice, you're not going to single out the one which is on the most wanted list. But now having brought you the bad news, and I brought it publicly on RH Max's show, the best debate he did, obviously. Having brought you the bad news, I've got to bring you the good news. The good news is now we're in altcoin season because Bitcoin's in price discovery and people are rocking up to crypto, realizing that Bitcoin's too expensive and buying other stuff. They're now looking for opportunities, and the big channels are going to start talking about how Pulsechain was suppressed due to this and that, and people are going to buy it. As the confidence comes into the market, and that's another thing I called yesterday, I said that today we would be in greed. I said that the crypto market would tip into greed today, which is great, by the way. That's what you want. It's a sign the positivity is coming back. But I said it today, and it was today. We're in greed. According to CoinMarketCap, we just tipped into greed. As I say, that's where you want to be. In a bull market, that's where you want to be. Greed is almost... the way to see it, I was listening back to me yesterday, and I thought, I've got to explain this. Greed in a bull market is like neutral. Really, if you see what I mean, because it kind of greed is the default, whereas in a bear market fear is the default. So yesterday I said something wrong. I was thinking about this and I think I've given my followers a wrong advice there. I said it's a good idea to buy in neutral, not in a bear market. In a bear market you're going to see extreme fear for sure, so it's probably not a good idea to be buying in neutral. You'd be wanting to be buying in fear and extreme fear. Almost, let you into a secret, come closer, almost nobody's got the balls to buy in extreme fear. Now, even Crypto 7 struggles a lot. Even after 10 years, understanding everything and the nuances and seeing that you always make the most money buying in extreme fear, I still can't bring myself. It's probably because I'm old, it's probably because you become more cautious as you get older. It's very curious. I kind of understand why I become more cautious as I get older. I should become more reckless, but it's not the case. I wish it was the case. When I was 25, I was fearless. And now I'm not quite so fearless because I haven't got time to do it again. I haven't got time to make the money again. So I can't bring myself to buy in extreme fear. Most people can't. Did you know that, did you? Did you know that? Most people haven't got the balls to buy in extreme fear. Crypto 7 hasn't got the balls, even though he knows it's the right thing to do. Anyway, I'm not sure if this is a good stream or if I'm too unstructured, but do you know, I think it's just because we are where we are, aren't we? You are the people that have made it. We are going to make a lot of money. I was talking about this. As much as the founder being on Interpol's most wanted list was a big problem in a poorly performing crypto market, as we get into Banana Zone, because that's next, we are now in altcoin season. I'm not calling Banana Zone yet. Banana zone's like everything's up 20%. And some cryptos are up 40%. Yeah, that's banana zone. And I can't see too many giant bananas there. This is as good as this is. Once we get to banana zone, we've talked about it. We've just got into greed. Once we're in extreme greed, to keep it simple and to use a scale, and if you want, all you got to do is go on CoinMarketCap. They've got a fear and greed index right at the top. CoinMarketCap.com, and there's a fear and greed index right at the top. So once we get to extreme greed, what was an impediment to us before? What was impeding us before? What was holding us back and retarding us, which is the most wanted list thing, will become a selling point. It'll become a feature because people become very, very confident. They become overconfident, which is why it's called extreme greed. So when most people in the market are in extreme greed, we become overconfident. You know, like we've just had 3 pints of lager and some good-looking girls have walked in. That kind of overconfidence. We're going to become overconfident. When you become overconfident and somebody says, "Oh, but you know, Richard's on the most wanted list," great, even more reason to buy. Yeah, it's like, so I'm the only Pulsechain streamer. By the way, I don't watch any Pulsechain streamers anymore. Just do my own thing, which I think is great. The last one I watched was a few weeks ago, Sommy, when he was saying that Richard was going to load PDI onto a cold wallet storage device and ship it out around the world. And I thought, this guy is delusional, and he's manipulating people. And that's the last Pulsechain streamer I've listened to. I don't need to listen to any Pulsechain streamers because I know what I'm talking about. People that subscribe to Crypto 7 are going to make it to Monaco. People that don't probably aren't going to, because most people don't make it to Monaco. So if you subscribe to Crypto 7, you'll make it to Monaco. First round of drinks at Café de Paris on Crypto 7. How's that sound? So, what was I talking about? Yeah. That was a good point as well. Damn it. I've completely lost it, guys. Somebody say in the chat, what was I talking about just then? Let's see if anyone can. Run out of energy after 40. Run out of energy after 40. I was talking about Sommy. Yeah, no, it was Sommy, but only. I was saying that I'm not listening to any Pulsechain streamers. What was the context of that? Can't remember. So, anyone else? Yeah, Sommy. Yeah, I always talk about Sommy, don't I? No, there was some other point I was going to. Maybe I hadn't started to make it yet, which is important as well. So we've done a price prediction for people coming in now. We've got 100 people watching now. See what you can do. Help us out with the algo. We should have more people, really. It's a bit... or maybe we don't want it too crowded in Monaco. What do you think, guys? So I can do a really sexy, really short-term, really accurate price prediction for Pulsechain based on the price of Ethereum. Ethereum is now over 3,000. I think it'll be 4,000 in the next 3 or 4 weeks. When it's 4,000, we know that Pulsechain will be 4085 because it was last time, so it will be this time. I was talking about, one of the things I was talking about was how, yeah, once we get into extreme greed, nobody will care if Richard's on a most wanted Interpol list. They probably wouldn't even care if he died in a helicopter crash, God forbid. Whereas when we are in a sideways market or a bear market, the founder dying in a helicopter crash, and forget Richard, it could be any crypto founder, yeah? Anatoly from Solana, Charles from Cardano, you name it. Them dying in a helicopter crash would be a massively bad event for the prices of Cardano and Solana. But when we get into extreme greed, almost nothing's going to matter. With all this in mind, it's extraordinary to me, now that we've talked about the correlation between the price of Pulsechain and Ethereum, it's crazy to me that people are selling, I think principally Hex. We know that there's some moronic whales in Hex. It blows my mind, and it means a number of things. If you are selling Hex now, you you obviously don't understand crypto. You obviously don't understand the correlation between the price of Ethereum and the price of Pulsechain. You obviously don't understand that Ethereum's about to go to 4,000 in the next 3 or 4 weeks. I hope to goodness you've got money problems, because what people don't realize is, now I get that some people that hold Hex right now are still well in profit because they got in the last cycle. They got in 2019, 2020. I think it launched December 2019. So they got in 2020. Anyone that bought Hex early 2020 is probably in profit. And they've probably made money in lots of other cryptos. And for them, it's just a transaction. And for them, they're making money still selling Hex now. Okay. But let me tell you that we've just shown how the ecosystem's probably going to 3x in the next 3 or 4 weeks. You're going to be very unhappy when you see that you could have made 3 times more money in just waiting 3 or 4 weeks. And that's just a start. I've said here on this channel that when Pulsechain really starts to fly is when we get past sack price. I describe sack price as the gravitational pull. Once we get past sack price, that's when the spaceship goes faster and higher, using less energy, just as you do when you enter space. So forget 3 or 4x that they'll lose out on. Say in 3 months we could easily 20x ecosystem. Now then you're talking stupid. Then you're saying, well, I sold $500,000 worth of Hex, but if I'd waited 3 months, I could have made 20 million. Or is that right? 20, whatever, 20 million, 10 million. You get the idea. There's a big difference between 500,000 and 10 million. 500,000 doesn't get you a decent house. 10 million gets you a villa with a pool and little Hex on the tiles at the bottom of the swimming pool. Fantastic. Really good to hook up. I'm going to leave it there. I'm a bit all over the place. I think my stream yesterday was better, although obviously, do you know what? It's a bit like when I ran trade associations in London, we used to lay on conferences, places like the Grand Hotel in Brighton and things. And if the weather was nice, people were pretty forgiving about the course content and things like that, and how the dinner was and things. If the weather was nice, people were more forgiving about, whether they had a chocolate under their pillow in the bedrooms and things. And I think it's a little bit like that. Hopefully people will forgive me for being a little bit all over the place. Hopefully people will see the authenticity, that I'm just being genuine, just being me. I think you're all going to do fantastically well. We touched on PDI yesterday. Look, the thing that people forget is there's no liquidity, and there's people with giant bags. And so when you hope that you're going to make money in PDI, you're playing Russian roulette. And you're just hoping that someone like Decentralized Me doesn't sell all his PDI and send it to zero overnight. Because there's so little liquidity, he has the ability to do that. And so does the nipple pegger. He has the ability to send PDI to zero. That's not the case in Hex and Pulsechain. That's not the case in Hex and Pulsechain. I can go to bed at night knowing that Pulsechain isn't going to go down 50% overnight. No way now. I'm expecting it to go up 50% overnight, quite frankly. I'm expecting it to go up, but it's definitely not going down. The thing with making money in Pulsechain is, let's give you a simple example. If you've got $20,000 in Pulsechain, I think you got a very good chance of getting $500,000 out in this cycle. When you see $500,000 on your screens, you can put that money into your dreams. You can sell the $500,000. You won't have any slippage. You'll be fine. You'll get your $500,000, and everyone won't be wrecked. But when you might see big numbers in PDI, but when you come to sell it, you'll find there's huge slippage. When you'll find somebody front runs you and sells before you, it's no liquidity. A crypto with no liquidity is like a parachute with holes in it. Or a Ferrari without petrol. It's of no interest to me. It's of no interest to me at all. Or a nightclub without condoms. No, 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 no. I hope Brandon's not watching still. Thanks very much, everyone. Getting a bit overexcited there. Apologies, Brandon. Brandon's mum for that one. But that's all my dad did. He just said, gave us a pack of condoms each and told us to get on with it. Anyway, let's move on. Fantastic. And we're in altcoin season, guys. There's only one risk left now in Hex and Pulsechain. It's not Interpol. It's not the SEC. It's nothing. It's just, are you going to be able to be bullish enough fast enough? And we'll go back to that probably in the next stream, because I want to put some numbers to that. And it was Check My Pulse that inspired me, so thanks again for that, buddy. But I want to put some numbers to that, how you'll see the difference. If you're able to be bullish today, forget that Pulsechain was cheaper yesterday, by the way, because it's going to be a lot more expensive next week. If you can get bullish today, you're going to make a lot more money in Pulsechain than the person that takes a month to get bullish. The person that takes a month to get bullish is going to make a lot less money. A lot less money. I think that's a subject for a stream all in itself. Just put some numbers to that so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, fantastic. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing day. I don't think we had any super chats today, which is fine. It's probably me talking about my $100,000 piano. I wouldn't super chat me either, but I do appreciate them. Cheers, guys. Bye.